the hip-hop world woke up to another wave of speculation, and this time, two of the biggest names in the industry are once again dominating every timeline. After renewed attention surrounding documentaries and ongoing public conversations about Sean Diddy Combs, social media suddenly shifted its focus when fans began circulating rumors about what a possible second season could explore. Within minutes, one familiar name started trending alongside the discussion, Jay-Z. Then came another twist, 50 Cent, who has never been shy about commenting on major industry stories, once again had fans refreshing their feeds, waiting to see whether he would weigh in. Screenshots of old posts, podcast clips, and fan theories spread across X, Instagram, and YouTube, with thousands of people debating what was real, what was rumor, and what was simply internet speculation. Some fans claimed the online conversation was getting out of control. Others argued that people were reading far too much into every post and every headline. Entertainment creators rushed to connect the dots, while critics reminded everyone that viral discussions are not the same as verified facts. What made this moment even bigger wasn't a confirmed announcement. It was the uncertainty. Every new reaction fueled another debate. Every repost created another theory. And every theory sparked thousands more comments asking the same question. Is this just another internet frenzy, or is there actually more to the story than anyone knows? That's exactly what we're breaking down today. We'll separate public facts from online speculation, look at why 50 Cent's reactions keep becoming major headlines, and examine how one viral conversation turned into one of the biggest debates in hip-hop. Because in today's rap culture, sometimes the loudest story isn't the confirmed news. It's a question that keeps everyone talking. The moment a major hip-hop documentary captures the attention of the world, the conversation almost always becomes bigger than the project itself. Fans start analyzing every detail, commentators start breaking down every interview, and social media turns into a non-stop debate about what the story means for the culture. And when a figure like 50 Cent enters that conversation, the reaction becomes even louder. For years, 50 Cent has built a reputation as one of the most outspoken personalities in entertainment. Whether through interviews, social media posts, business moves, or his own storytelling projects, he has always understood one thing: attention is powerful. When discussions around documentaries and hip-hop history begin trending, fans often look toward the biggest voices in the industry to see who will respond. And 50 Cent has become one of those voices people watch closely. But this moment was bigger than one post or one reaction. It represented something that has changed about hip-hop culture itself. Today, documentaries are not just watched, they are investigated. Fans pause clips, they analyze interviews, they compare timelines, they debate every statement. A documentary can become the beginning of a much larger conversation that continues across YouTube, podcasts, and social media for weeks. The renewed attention around major music industry stories created a wave of discussion about power, success, friendships, business relationships, and the complicated history behind some of the biggest names in entertainment. And once 50 Cent's name became connected to the conversation, people immediately started asking what his perspective would be. Because 50 Cent has never been known as someone who stays silent when the culture is discussing a major topic. His career has always involved more than music. He became known as an artist, entrepreneur, television producer, and one of the most recognizable personalities in entertainment. That ability to create conversation has been one of his biggest strengths. Throughout his career, 50 Cent has shown that controlling attention can be just as important as creating music. He understands how headlines work, how audiences react, and how one statement can create a massive online discussion. That is why fans often watch his moves carefully. But the internet can also create confusion. A simple comment can become a theory. A clip can be removed from its original context. A fan discussion can quickly become a headline. And that is exactly what happened as people began debating the latest documentary conversations. Some fans focus on the importance of documenting hip-hop history. They argue that these projects allow audiences to understand the people, decisions, and moments that shape the industry. Others focus on the entertainment side, discussing which stories deserve more attention and which perspectives are missing. The debate showed something important about modern hip-hop. Fans do not just consume stories anymore. They participate in creating the conversation. Every comment, reaction video, and social media post adds another layer. This is why documentary discussions can become cultural events. A story that begins on a streaming platform can quickly move into podcasts, interviews, reaction channels, and millions of conversations online. And when legendary artists are involved, the attention grows even faster. 50 Cent's connection to these discussions comes from his unique place in rap history. He has experienced different eras of the industry firsthand. He came into the spotlight during a period when mixtapes, street credibility, and major label competition shaped the direction of hip-hop. Then he expanded into a business empire that reached far beyond music. Because of that journey, many fans view his opinions through the lens of someone who has watched the industry change from the inside. But there is another side to the story. The same personality that makes 50 Cent entertaining also creates strong reactions. Some fans appreciate his honesty and humor, while others believe his style is intentionally provocative. Either way, one thing is clear. When he speaks, people listen. And that is why every major hip-hop conversation involving his name creates another wave of attention. The biggest question fans continue asking is not only what 50 Cent thinks about these documentaries, but why these stories continue having such a powerful impact on the culture. Because behind every documentary is a bigger conversation about legacy. Who gets remembered? Who controls the story? And how does the music industry decide which moments become history? These questions have followed hip-hop for decades, from legendary rivalries to iconic albums. From business deals to cultural movements, fans have always wanted to understand what happened behind the scenes. That curiosity is what keeps documentary discussions alive. And now, as another wave of attention hits the culture, the conversation around hip-hop history is becoming louder than ever. But the next chapter is where things get interesting. Because when millions of people start looking back at the past, they often begin asking new questions about the present. And that is where the real debate begins. As the conversation continued spreading across social media, the attention around hip-hop documentaries became more than just entertainment news. Fans started looking deeper into how these projects are created, who gets interviewed, and how different generations of artists remember the same moments from completely different perspectives. This is where 50 Cent's role in the conversation became interesting. Throughout his career, he has shown a unique ability to turn cultural moments into discussions, whether through music, television, or social media. He understands how quickly public attention can shift. Over the next several days, fans began revisiting old interviews, classic footage, and previous conversations involving major figures in hip-hop. Clips from the past started trending again as audiences tried to understand how the industry reached its current moment. The reaction showed how much people care about hip-hop history. For younger fans, documentaries provide a chance to learn about eras they did not experience firsthand. For longtime fans, they bring back memories and create new debates about events they thought they already understood. Meanwhile, social media platforms became the center of discussion. Reaction channels uploaded breakdowns, podcasts analyzed different perspectives, and fans debated which stories deserved more attention. Some viewers believe documentaries are important because they preserve culture and allow artists to tell their experiences. Others argued that every documentary represents a certain perspective and that audiences should always look at multiple sources. This debate became one of the biggest parts of the conversation. People were not only discussing the documentary itself, they were discussing how history is created and remembered. 50 Cent's public image made him a major part of the online discussion because fans know he has always been comfortable sharing his opinions. His approach has often created moments that become larger conversations throughout entertainment. But the bigger picture was about the changing relationship between celebrities and audiences. In the past, fans waited for magazines, interviews, or television appearances to hear from artists. Today, one social media post can reach millions instantly. This new environment has changed how stories develop. A single reaction can create thousands of responses, and those responses can become part of the story itself. As the discussions continued, fans started comparing different eras of hip-hop. They looked at how artists handle fame, how business changed the industry, and how public perception can shape an entertainer's legacy. The conversation also highlighted the importance of storytelling. Every generation has its own version of hip-hop history, and documentaries often become the place where those versions meet. For 50 Cent, storytelling has always been part of his brand. From his music videos to his television projects, he has consistently focused on creating narratives that capture audience attention. That ability helped him remain relevant in an industry that changes constantly. While many artists from previous eras struggled to maintain public interest, 50 Cent has continued finding new ways to stay connected with audiences. Fans noticed that this documentary conversation was another example of how entertainment has changed. The biggest stories are no longer controlled by one platform or one company. Instead, they develop through millions of conversations happening at the same time. And as more people continued debating the documentary, another question started appearing across social media. How will future generations remember this era of hip-hop? Because every major moment eventually becomes part of history. The artists who shape the culture today may one day become the subjects of tomorrow's documentaries. Their decisions, interviews, and public moments will all become pieces of a much larger story. This is why fans pay such close attention whenever major names become part of a cultural conversation. They understand that these moments can define how an entire generation is remembered. The documentary discussion also showed that hip-hop is no longer only about music. It is about business, influence, storytelling, and the complicated relationships that exist behind the scenes. As the debate continued growing, fans waited to see what new conversations would emerge next. Because in hip-hop, one story rarely stays the same for long. One interview can create another question. One reaction can create another debate. And one documentary can open the door to an entirely new chapter. As the documentary conversation continued dominating online discussions, the biggest takeaway was how quickly fans began connecting different moments in hip-hop history. People started revisiting interviews, performances, and old conversations while trying to understand how the industry evolved over the years. The first major twist was realizing that the audience itself had become part of the storytelling process. Fans were no longer just watching documentaries. They were creating reaction videos, sharing opinions, and building their own interpretations of what these stories meant. Across social media, conversations became more intense. Some fans praised documentaries for bringing important chapters of music history to a new audience, while others questioned whether every story could ever be fully explained in one project. This debate created a bigger conversation about perspective. Every artist, producer, executive, and fan may remember the same era differently depending on their personal experience. 50 Cent remained one of the names people watch closely because of his long history of making headlines through his comments and business moves. His ability to stay involved in major entertainment conversations has always been part of his public identity. Fans began discussing how different artists from the same generation handled fame in different ways. Some focused on music achievements, while others looked at business decisions, media strategies, and cultural impact. The second major development was how the documentary discussion expanded beyond one topic. It became a conversation about the entire entertainment system and how stories are selected, presented, and remembered. Podcasts, reaction channels, and online commentators continued analyzing every detail. Some focused on facts and interviews, while others focused on the emotions and personalities involved. This showed how powerful storytelling had become in the digital era. A documentary does not end when the credits roll. The conversation continues across thousands of platforms. For many fans, this was a reminder that hip-hop history is still being written. Artists from past generations continue influencing how people understand success, creativity, and the challenges of the music business. The emotional side of the discussion came from fans who felt connected to different eras of rap culture. For them, these stories represent more than entertainment. They represent memories, experiences, and moments that shaped their lives. The conversation also highlighted the complicated relationship between fame and public opinion. Celebrities can build careers by connecting with audiences, but that same connection means every public moment receives intense attention. As more discussions developed, fans began asking bigger questions about legacy. What moments will define this generation? Which stories will continue being discussed years from now? Those questions are what make documentaries so powerful. They create a bridge between the past and the future. The biggest surprise was that the documentary conversation became a reminder of how much influence hip-hop continues to have worldwide. Music has become a global language, and the stories behind the artists often become just as important as the songs themselves. While fans continued debating different perspectives, one thing became clear. The interest in hip-hop history is stronger than ever, and as the industry continues changing, more stories will continue coming forward, creating new conversations and new questions about the culture. The conversation around hip-hop documentaries proves one thing. Fans are more interested than ever in understanding the stories behind the music. From legendary moments to industry changes, every chapter creates new debates and different opinions. Now we want to hear from you. What do you think about the way hip-hop history is being documented today? Do you believe documentaries help fans understand the culture better? Or do you think every story needs more perspectives before people make conclusions? Drop your thoughts in the comments and join the conversation. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more rap news stories, entertainment updates, and deep dives into the moments shaping hip-hop culture. Because every era has its stories, every artist has a journey, and every headline has a bigger picture behind it. Stay tuned, because the next chapter could bring another major conversation that has the entire rap world talking.